Hello guys, it's Sunday evening in England right now, and as you may be able to tell, the great British summer has arrived, contrary to my original beliefs. So you may remember I did a review for Hot Rod a couple of weeks ago, and the weather was absolutely crap. And I said, well, to contrast the crap weather, I'll do a funny film. So right now, as the weather's really nice, I'm going to review a horror film, and it's my favourite horror film, and it's called The Brood. And The Brood is a 1979 film, and really, the plot is confusing as hell. I got my laptop here because I can't really explain the plot to you without giving it away. So I'm going to read you the IMDb plot summary, and you can just take what you will from that, and then I'll just tell you what I think of it. A man tries to uncover an unconventional psychologist therapy techniques on his institutionalised wife, while a series of brutal attacks committed by a brood of mutant children coincides with the husband's investigation. So, we've already learnt from that the main character is a dude and his wife is in some kind of therapy thing, and you've also learnt that the monster in this film is a group of mutated children. So, already we're off to a good start. Okay, so there's three kind of main characters, and one of them is Oliver Reed, whose name you may recognise. He actually died during the filming of Gladiator and had to be CGI'd in. He's been in a few other things. And the other two actors are Samantha Eggar, she plays the institutionalised wife of Art Hindle, and he is the guy who is kind of the protagonist and sees all the shit going down and tries to sort everything out. What I find these days with horror films is that they're not actually really very scary. The only bits that do scare people in horror films these days are usually just like they'll have some jumpy bits where there'll be a sudden poof of music, and there'll be like some flashing visual of something like that, and that's kind of the limit of modern day horror. I've seen a few horror films which are fairly recent which are quite good, but The Brood is a genuinely scary film, and I think the main thing which is important about The Brood in comparison to modern day and other horror films is that it's got a good plot. You get so many crap horror films these days which just have like really good prosthetics, and you know, that's the only scary thing. They'll have all this gore and blood, like loads of gore, crap actors and an absolutely rubbish storyline, and you just kind of watch it, and yeah, it might make you jump a couple of bits, but like, you know, that doesn't mean anything, you know, like it makes you jump in the same way as if someone burst a balloon behind your head. That would make you jump. It's like, oh, and then you're surprised and you're like, oh, okay, and you continue living your life. That's what loads of horror films are like. But The Brood has a genuinely engaging storyline, and it's quite thought-provoking. It's well-paced, which is another important factor for horror films, in my opinion. You get a lot of horror films where they reveal what the monster looks like in its entirety within the first 20 minutes of the film. They, you know, or whatever, they've already got a murder happening right at the beginning of the film, and it's just absolutely rubbish. Like, that's their way of gripping you. And this film is paced a lot better. It kind of builds up. You only really see the mutated children monsters about an hour in, around that, and I think that's important, because if they just scare you completely in the very beginning, then you kind of know what to expect from the rest of the film, and it just, I don't know, it just doesn't really shock you anymore. But this film really builds up, and it does have a really good climax, which is like, whoa, really freaky. So yes, I really like The Brood. It's a film which isn't particularly well known, which is mainly why I'm kind of telling you about it, because I think it's a genuinely scary horror film, and like I said, it's not very well known, so I'm just trying to bring that to you. The actors aren't particularly well known. The director, David Cronenberg, he's not very well known. He did do The Fly, the one with Jeff Goldblum in it, and he's done a few other things, but he's not like really well known, like where you say his name and like 9 out of 10 people know it. Like, he's relatively unheard of. It's one of those films where you can't really explain the plot to people properly, and you can't really say, oh, it's got this actor in it, because it's not actually got like really big actors in it, and it's quite an old film as well, and it's kind of it's gone relatively undetected through history. So I'm just saying it now, if you like horror films or if you want a scary film to watch The Brood. I'd give it about an 8 out of 10, and yeah, it's a genuinely scary film. And it's thought-provoking, and it's got a good storyline. So yes, thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next week. Bye.